At least 2 civilians were killed, with more injured, including children, in the northern Ukrainian city of Sumy. Ukraine's air defense units destroyed 15 of 23 attack drones and 1 guided air missile launched by Russia overnight, according to the Air Force. The drones were likely intercepted by Ukraine's electronic warfare systems. Meanwhile, funeral services were held in Poltava for victims of a recent Russian attack in which at least 55 people were killed. More than 300 were also injured in the September 3rd missile strike, which was one of the deadliest since the beginning of the war. Maria Zolkina is a research fellow at the London School of Economics and Political Science, and she's been telling me about the situation with the Russian missile strikes and the fighting on the front line.
This week was generally a kind of terrorizing Ukraine permanently every night. And what happened today is just one attack out of a number of them since the last weekend. Russia is doing this on purpose because their main idea is not just to have gains on the military battlefield, but basically to make the whole territory of Ukraine unlivable, uninhabitable space. And all my relatives and friends back in Ukraine, I'm Ukrainian as well, so it was one of the worriest, one of the most terrorizing in terms of our psychological state weeks for a while already.
Yes, it must be really anxiety-inducing for your family there, and I'm sorry to hear that that's what they're experiencing. Maria, you mentioned their gains on the battlefield as well as one aspect of it. So if we turn to that now, what's the situation on the Eastern Front, where you've got both Ukraine and Russia reporting some gains there, some capturing and recapturing of territories?
Russia has been pushing pretty intensively in the Donetsk region. Their main political and military goal for the rest of the autumn to capture the rest of the Donetsk region, which is under the control of Ukraine. And main goal for them right now on the battlefield is Pokrovsk, pretty big city as for the Donetsk region. More than 50,000 of the population before the Russian invasion lived there. It is a very important logistical spot on the map for Ukraine, and it's pretty worrying one if Russia will be really occupying the city, or the battle like the battle for Bakhmut or Avdiivka previously will start for Pokrovsk soon, exactly because the more Russia is advancing, even incrementally in the Donetsk region, the more they're closer to the very center of Ukraine, to Dnipro region, which is the only one, I would say, really industrial region, functioning one left on the government control of Ukraine, because the rest of heavy industry was on the territory which is occupied by Russia now. So this is what Russia is doing. And for this reason, to capture the Donetsk region entirely in the coming half of the year or year, they have even almost given up on defending the Kursk region, where Ukraine has organized the counteroffensive operation by capturing the part of Kursk region on the Russian territory.
If we look at Western aid now, President Zelensky made another impassioned plea for more military support on Friday. Ukraine didn't get the long-range missiles they were after, but got other ammunition. What sort of difference is that making at this stage of the war?
The main problem is not even the quantity and even not the tempos of those military packages of support to Ukraine arriving to Ukraine, but basically the quality and the kind of the weapons coming. As of now, Ukraine is in a huge need of longer range missile and permission to strike back including on the Russian territory. The reason for that is very simple. So Ukraine needs to break Russian logistical roads and network on the territory, which is both Ukrainian occupied territory, back in the heartland, to break all the logistical centers which Russia has developed there, like in the very south and on the border with between the Donetsk region and Russian territory itself. And the second reason is to be able to strike back not with Ukraine-produced drones, which Ukraine has been doing so far, but with longer range missiles provided by our Western partners to Russian military bases inside Russian territory to prevent, for instance, air attacks. Air attacks are launched, are started from the air military fields inside Russia, far away from the border with Ukraine. So unless we are able to hit those military targets, these awful air attacks on Ukraine will continue regardless of how far will Russia be moving on the battlefield inside Ukraine in the field.
Maria Zolkina from London School of Economics and Political Science.